Hello everybody and welcome back to Rig Racing. Today I got a little special episode. Over the past holiday season, my brother-in-law Joe, he donated to me his old resin printer, and I took some time over the holidays to learn how to do resin printing, and I kind of know what I'm doing. So basically the first thing I did is I went out on Thingiverse and I downloaded Main Street 1 model. Thank you very much for the gentleman who put that out there. I'm sorry I don't know his name. If I find it, I'm going to put it down in the link below so you guys can go get the model. This is pretty much everything that I printed. Roof, two sides, the front, all the window pieces. And here is the rest of it. There's clear. This is all the glass that goes in the window. This is the glass that goes in the rest of the windows. These are light boxes that in the inside go behind the windows, and you can put 3mm LEDs and light up your model. There's also a banner. You can make a store sign. There's a gutter and downspouts. And then this is like the interior of the front. You put this on here like this, and that's like an interior door with the sides going back, and I would dress that up a little bit. So I just wanted to give you a quick little heads up about what I've been up to. I'm about to place all this onto a tray and prime it all. Then I'm going to do all the windows in white, and I'm going to do a dry rub on the brick. This is a brick face. If you can't see it, here, let me bring it up and see if you can see the brick textures in it. I don't know. Oh, there you go. A little bit of focus in it, and it works out really well. So that resin printer, man, and it's just a 4K resin printer, so it's nothing special. Apparently, it's just an Anycubic. He upgraded to a new fancy one, and was generous enough to let me use his old one. So I'm just kind of learning how to do that. Now my FDM, my regular old, filament printer probably would have never been able to do that fine of a brick detail on a model like this. Let alone, let me show you the front. On the front, the detail really is outstanding again. Brickwork. All the design work this gentleman did is just fantastic on this model. I can't wait to start painting it up and make it so all these just fit in there. That's all his design. You just paint the fascias. Paint this whatever color you want, and then this fits in here, and your glass fits in the window frames. So these are going to be white. This is going to be like an old maroonish red. I'm going to do like a dry rub on it. And maybe an old sign. I don't know. I don't have much room on these walls here. I mean, I could put a small little poster, like if it's in an alley, drink Coke or something. And the back, that's the back wall. And unfortunately, I had to switch resins in the middle of it because I ran out. So I ran out of Micro Center. I'm lucky enough to have a Micro Center in my city. So, and all they had was it wasn't Anycubic resin, which is what that gray stuff is. That's what I learned on. This is a Elegoo or something like that that's being sold at Micro Center, and it's a tough resin. That seems to be pretty brittle. Let me show you the first print that I did. This is an orc, and I was going to paint it up like Harry Potter. Now this piece right here, his club, has already broke off right there at his hand once, and you can probably see the crack. So they're not meant to be messed with. This type of resin is very brittle. It's meant to, make your model and then set it and forget it. I wanted something a little bit tougher when I do models, though. So I wound up using a Elegoo tough resin. I have a Micro Center here in my city. I'm lucky enough to just be able to run over to the Micro Center store, and the only thing they had was like, you know, maybe 10 bottles of resin to choose from, and I never did that before. So this is the first time I ever had to buy resin. So I bought this tough resin from Goo, and all they had was tan. I couldn't even get gray. So this is a lot more flexible. It still prints sharp, clean lines, as you can tell, right? So there's nothing wrong with the resin. And I'm going to wind up painting all of the fascia of all of these because, as you can tell, they just sit kind of flat, right? So I'll paint all the insides of the windows and then the windows themselves white. Then I'll do a dry rub on the sides with a more of a reddish maroon style color and make it look like a city. And then the rooftop will be black, obviously, with some things I'm going to put on here for the rooftop. Decorate the inside. And then that's about it. So you guys keep coming back to the channel, and I'll give you some updates on me finishing up this model and maybe painting the orc. And then I'm going to be doing some more stuff for the layout, and we're definitely going to finish up the timing system add-ons for that. So keep an eye out and come on back. Okay, I moved out to my garage here for a little bit. Excuse me. I am going to be using a rattle can of primer here and covering some of these parts here. And on the board, I have the rest of them over there, make it a little bit easier to make sure everything is coated well. And then I'll be right back to you. After I sprayed them, I opened up the garage door here to get the smell out. Unfortunately, it's like -5 degrees in Ohio right now, so we're all freezing. Right there's a giant hair. Move that out of there. All right. And that's everything's coated pretty well in a gray primer. And then I can start doing the good stuff yet. Come on back. My prime pieces for the walls. Excuse me. I'm going to try and do some dry brushing techniques on this to get them up to red. This I'm not going to worry about. That's this with the roof. I'm going to just wind up painting that black. So we're just going to be focused on these three pieces right here for the moment. And really it's above here on this piece. This is going to be painted a different color. That's like a storefront. This is a storefront. That's the storefront. But the rest of all this is all going to be like a red. So I have some craft paints that I use. I go the cheap route, fellas. I have some acrylic craft paint, which this is Farmhouse Red, and then some chestnut, a couple drops that I put into each one, right? And you can see it makes that maroonish style. And then a little bit in the paint, a little bit on here, and you just kind of hit it lightly. That's all you need to do. All right. We can come back over it. I made a little heavy on an edge here, so I'm just kind of cleaning it off. This up here is all going to be a different color anyway. I'm just tapping it a little bit and bring it back over to here. Dry it off a little bit. This way you're not just sopping paint on there. The paint's almost drying or dried by the time you get it on the model. You can always go back to your wet pile. Notice it doesn't put a whole lot on my brush, but you can always come back to your dip just a little bit. And then get back to it. And it's turned out pretty nice. Dip it, dry it, and brush it. Now these little ledges I got right here are all going to be a cement color anyway. So like I said, you don't have to really hit everything. Went a little heavy there. You notice you can just take it, dry it off. All right. It's not completely coated everywhere, especially right down in here. It's getting hard to paint, so I'm going to let it dry. Move on to the next one. So I need a little more paint mixed up. So I know I'm not measuring it. I'm eyeballing it. Best mixers in the world. Just take a Q-tip and knock off the end. That dry. All right, I'm still a little dab on the end. Put it on a towel. Dry off the end of your brush. All right, and here I'm going to take care of the front one here. It's kind of nice because then you don't really overpaint doing this type of technique. You can get into the cracks without any bobbles or bubbles, I mean, right? Okay, let that one dry next to it. Got this one to go. Storefront right here, so you don't have to do everything right there. Starting to look good. Ooh, that's strong. Dry it all off and brush it off with your, blend it all in, pull it down. There, see how it looks like it didn't even happen? Those are the small blessings in the skies. Now it looks like something made that happen that way. So now you just keep going, filling in your spots. Have to have my printer to not print. Looks like it's a little flat right here. I can see the brick glow molds, but it didn't put them very deep right there. So I don't know what I can do about that, but I'm just kind of painting right past it. Hopefully it'll make it look like it was supposed to be there. All right, there's that for now. You can see it's like a flat right here, flat right there. Bricks look great there. Maybe I'll put a sign here. This all looks pretty good, but I'll come back and we'll do another coat here in a little bit. Let me clean my brush and we'll get back at it here in a little bit.